Yo, peace everybody, it's your boy Trey the Creator and welcome to Creators Corner. Before we get started, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you hit those buttons as well as hit the notification bell. Also, if you would like to help out the channel while getting some free stock, please hit my Robinhood link below. If you would also like to get some crypto, get some crypto money, also hit my Coinbase link in the description as well. You have a chance to win some shares of Bitcoin and a chance to win possibly a free Apple stock. So, you know what I'm saying, if you want to get into the stock market or get into crypto, hit my links below. So, what are we gonna talk about today? Because I haven't got on here probably like a week. I've been kind of spreading my videos out a little bit. But what are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about the recent events at the White House. I think that, and I'm gonna be honest, at first I wasn't gonna talk about this, kind of because I think that black people kind of should know to a certain degree how to move in this type of landscape. But I've been seeing some black people say some pretty not fully contextualized things. Because I see a lot of black people are not looking at this for what it truly, means or is. First and foremost, yes, white people storming the White House is a form of white arrogance. But let's look at this thing a little bit deeper here, because this is one of the most heavily guarded buildings in the United States, the U.S. Capitol building. Let's really think about this for a second. The Pentagon, the U.S. Capitol building, the Lincoln Memorial, all of these different buildings are heavily guarded national buildings, essentially. How on God's green earth can these white people just walk on to the premises, yet alone get into D.C.? And let's also say this. They also said they were going to do this before they did it. So let's just throw that out there to anyone that may sit here and say, well, you know, they just sporadically did this. No, they didn't sporadically do anything. They said they were going to do this. So let's make sure we understand that. The simple fact that these white people got to DC, yet alone got into the U.S. Capitol building and got in it with no resistance, should tell you, for one, that the shit was planned. And what I mean planned is, people were in on what was finna go down. There is no way that you can pull that off without having people on the inside that you know are gonna have your back, period. Don't let anybody from the Democratic Party or anybody sit here and tell you that this shit wasn't planned. This shit was planned. Everybody was in on it, period. There's no way around that. You do not get into one of the most secured and one of the most important buildings in the United States unless this shit is planned. And let's keep this shit even more of a buck. There is security documents in this building. There's a whole bunch of information that is in this building that the average person should not have access to. And the simple fact that it's that easy to get in there should tell you everything you need to know. Come on, bro. Like, people need to think a little bit more outside of the box instead of being so closed-minded. Because if it's that easy to get in there, is it that important of a building? They say it's that important of a building. So how are these people able just to run in there? I saw videos of people opening the barricades for these fools. I saw one video of a black dude, and this shameful. I'm ashamed to have to sit here and say this was a black dude. This fool here was literally running away from white people. He running up some stairs, running like a scared little girl. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you're making us look bad out here. But like I said, this just proves my point even more of it being planned. Because again, you do not get this far unless this shit is planned. Let me keep this shit a buck. If this was, let's say, Black Lives Matter, now I'm not the biggest, supporter of Black Lives Matter. I support the idea, but as far as the organization, no. But let's just sit here and say this is a Black Lives Matter protest. Do you honestly think that we would have got anywhere near that Capitol building? Fuck no. It's not even a question that we probably would have even gotten to DC. And all of these protests have been non-violent. They've been pretty much, stable, just no justice, no peace, protests. Let's take this a bit further. Let's say this was a women's march. Do you think they would have gotten that close in the White House? No. But because these are the MAGA boys, the Proud Boys, left, Antifa, right wing, these are cold-hearted, stern white folk. They're able to have all this access to the Capitol building. And let me keep it even a buck to you, rightfully so. People sitting there saying that, it should be a federal offense for what they did. In theory, it should be. But when you're white, you have to see, this is the mindset of these white people. They own and run shit. They have a right to do that. And they dare anybody to say otherwise. Yes, it's a capital offense. Yes, it should be, to me personally, it should be a mandatory jail sentencing. Period. Because you just ran into a federal building, but that's not the mindset of these white folk. They feel entitled to shit. I was just watching a video that my fiance sent me yesterday, and it was of a white lady who had recently purchased a home, and this goes hand in hand with this video. This white woman purchased a home that was at one point a slave plantation. Now, let me tell you how these white folk are and how they work here. Let me keep this a buck for a second. Now, the entrance to this home had 2 doors. Let's just start there. Then it also has a total of 4. It's a 4-layer home also. This home literally has the base level. Then it has 2 flights of stairs. One flight of stairs goes to the slave quarters, and the other flight of stairs take you to the 2nd level and then the 3rd level. This white woman had the audacity and the nerve, the unmitigated gall, to sit here and say that these slaves were staff. I don't think people really understood what this woman said. This woman said that this is where the butlers worked. This is where the staff worked. Now, meanwhile, you can literally look and see that these were little ass rooms, no bigger than my closet right here, where these people had to sleep. They had one fucking sink that they had to wash their hands in. This is a slave where she had the audacity to call these people staff. Let's keep this shit a buck here. What is the definition of staff? Someone that has volunteered their services in work to get paid for it. For one, these slaves did not get paid. Number 2, these people did not want to be there. And number 3, and more importantly, they built the fucking house. But this white woman, and that's not even all of it. This was just 2 bedrooms inside of, and this was under the other up, because it's, like I said, it's a 4-story, 4-layer home. You have the main floor, you have the slave quarters, you have the first, probably the main level of the house, which is the 3rd level. Then you have the 4th level, which is like the attic, but it's bedrooms up there. You can tell that that 2nd layer is where the slaves went, because it's a little staircase. They had a little closet, and then 2 bedrooms no bigger than this closet. And you could tell this is where the slaves, because of how it looked. The person that had the home previously did not do anything with that area. He left it the way it was, because you can tell just from how it looks that this is where the slaves slept. And this woman had the audacity again to say they were staff. That's not even a full context of the whole view of the layout of the house. Let's go to where the rest of the slaves slept. That was just the in-house slaves. Now we went out to the horse stable area. Now you got your horse stable, so they turned into a garage. It's also another door that takes you up another flight of stairs. And this is where, again, she said the staff slept. These little bitty ass rooms like this, again, with little bitty bathroom, with really no bathroom, really no closet space, and she said this with a stab slut. And this is why I brought that up, because again, white people feel entitled to shit. They do. This white woman, I'm all in the comments. I may post a video in the link just so people can go shit on this woman. You know, because me and my fiance was talking about this, and it was just crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is how white people think. That it doesn't matter that, and this goes to a deeper point of how I look at America. That house that white woman has now bought and going to renovate is a house that was built on slave labor. It was built on that, not by staff, not by servants, not by butlers. No, it was built by slaves. Let's take that to America. America was a house built by slaves of white people. So of course these white folk gonna feel entitled to run up in the White House and act a fucking fool. Because this is their country, essentially. It's theirs. Who gives a shit? This is white. This is where white people can come. This is their definition. Like I said, the land of free, the home of the brave. This is America, baby. And people running around here all surprised and saying how these white people can do this. And I'm like, bro, this is white folk 101. This is how they've been created and quote unquote trained to think. That's why I sat here and said that it's a against the law and the crime to invade the Capitol building, but is it? Because when you have white law on everything, when white people control the ports, again, this goes to what I was talking about with me and my boy Jared. They control the ports, they control the agriculture section, they control the business section, they control every single aspect, the political sector, laws, money, they control all that. So think about this for a second. Do you really sit here and think that they should be punished, even though they should be? But that's what I'm saying. Think about this for a second. From their mindset, we black people got to understand that our mindset and white people mindset is two different mindsets. We look at the world from a more of a peaceful, kind of natural, nothing is ours, there's enough for everybody type of mindset. That's the reason why we're fucked up right now. White people have the mindset of control everything. So to these people, they can do whatever the hell they want when they want. Come on, who's gonna stop them? And as you can see, who's gonna stop these fools? Now, let's also point this out right quick, because I don't want this video to be long. This ain't supposed to be a long video. It's supposed to be something real quick. Now, some people have been quote unquote getting punished per se. I think it was one dude, Tariq had posted about some white dude with a beard. It was some red dude, red-headed dude, white dude. He worked at Toyota. He got him fired, but so what? He got him fired. Like, that's fired means nothing. The simple fact that he even got in the building alone should have pretty much not even happened. But when you white, you can do that. I've seen videos of lawyers. Let's stop on the lawyers for a second, because I don't think people really understood the lawyer aspect. You have lawyers, you have government officials. I think they said the Secretary of Georgia was in that joint with these folks. These are people that literally can change lives with the practice that they're in. I'm sure it was and this is just public information. I'm sure there were doctors. I'm sure there were other people who work in agriculture, farmers, because there's a lot of white MAGA farmers out here. I'm pretty sure there were economists. I'm pretty sure that there were nurses. I'm pretty sure there were school teachers. A bunch of different subsect of white people that work in public forums in that crowd that have yet to be identified. And the simple fact of the matter is, they're not gonna get charged. Don't mind the little anecdotal small amount of people that may get reprimanded. I don't really call it reprimanded. They're getting fired and that's it. Most of these people not even gonna get jail time. So that should tell you everything you need to know right there. Again, this is the inside job, but nonetheless, this should tell you who was in it. These are people that we go to Walmart with. that we go to Sam's Club with, that we go to Target with, who we shop at Publix with, who we shop and deal with in public day-to-day forums, who were in there that will never, ever, ever get reprimanded for it. And that goes to a broader statement of why in the video of me and Jared, the reason why I said we need to control things ourselves, because we can't rely on these white people any longer. You know, I was watching a video yesterday by a guy who I'm not gonna say his name, because he is probably one of the most honest black people I know, and he gets a lot of hate. And he welcomes it nonetheless, but I'm not gonna mention him. And he was somewhat speaking to what Tone and Yvette's argument is, and I agree with this argument to a certain degree, but I disagree with it a little bit. I'm kind of like 70-50 in what Tone and Yvette, and what he was saying, what Tone and Yvette said was that black people are worthless people, and to a certain degree we are worthless people, because we are a people that literally have no wealth. This, again, my silver coin right here is wealth, but I don't have a super bunch, but this is wealth. You know, white people are able to have, I think the average income for a black family is like $40,000 a year, whereas the average income for a white family I think was like $70,000 or $80,000, or maybe even more, $100,000. So the wealth gap is exponential. These people have 401ks, they have pensions, they have adequate health insurance. Well, not adequate, good health insurance. They have all these different benefits, whereas we as black people are struggling, trying to get crumbs. And you know, this goes to the argument for reparations and stuff like that. And I'm kind of going all over the place, but it makes sense when you just listen to everything that I'm saying, per se. These people that were in that building are of that number of the white people that have that money, again, because most of them are doctors, lawyers, economists, and etc. They have those jobs. They had that generational wealth essentially built up, which is why I said, who really can sit here and criticize, not just criticize, I mean, we can criticize them, who really can sit here and say that these people were wrong for what they did, when again they run every single thing while we run nothing. You can do that when you run shit. Yeah, slaves built the White House. Yeah, slaves built the Capitol building. But let's keep this shit a buck here. This shit was built by us for them. So of course they gonna feel a certain type of way to do whatever they want. And also, not to mention, like the white woman that was in that video with the house. Another house built by slaves, but slaves don't own or control shit in there. So a white woman like her can go by it and sit here and tell her little white kids that, oh, this was built by staff at one point. What the fuck is a staff? We need to control industries. We need to control politics. We don't control shit. We are a wealthless people, which is why I promote my stock portfolio. I don't have, and let's also go here with it. I don't have a lot of money to invest into the stock market. Why? Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a lot of money. I have a little bit of money here and there, but I don't have what white people have. White people can throw $20,000, $30,000 to the stock market. Let that shit sit for about 5 years and come out with $5 million. I gotta throw what I got in there. My crypto account. I ain't got a lot of bread. I'm throwing what I got in there. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, we as black people need to put to rest these little petty differences that we have. I don't give a fuck if you ADOS, if you FBA, if you B1. I don't give a shit. Black Americans, we all we got. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care about any of that. As long as, I don't care if you, let me also take this to a broader extent. I don't give a fuck if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're gay, if you're a more identify as a Moor, if you're Kemetic, if you're a Buddhist. I don't give a fuck. Black liberation is all that matters to me. And clearly these white people are on code enough to understand they can do what the fuck they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. And you know the type of mindset you got, like I said again, to run into the Capitol building. No fear, no mask on either. These people are not have no mask on. They're running in their bare face for the world to see, yeah, I did this, and what you gonna do about it. You know how gangster that is? That's the white arrogance mindset these people have. And like I said again, to them, rightfully so. Why? Because you own, run, and control everything. So like I said, I'm speaking from their mindset here. I'm not saying that that's my personal opinion, but this is how they think. I can do whatever the hell I want to do, and who's gonna stop me? And clearly nobody did. So I mean, it just proves my point. These white, so this is why I say we as black folk gotta be on code. I remember I don't know if it was on Jared's channel or if it was on my channel. Some dude was talking about, no, it was on Jared's channel from the video, because me and him both posted our last videos on each. He posted on his and I posted on mine. Some white dude was talking about, well, what's the code, and you know, whose code should we follow? And I'm like, bro, I don't care whose code we follow. And I'm like, we could follow Neely Fuller's code. We could follow whoever. We could come up with our own code. It doesn't matter. But we need a code of conduct, because a code of conduct works. Because my argument in that video that I did was that leadership is flawed. I'm not going to sit here and say we don't need leaders, but I would say that leadership, to me, as of now, is flawed. Because we put leadership before the code. You need the code before the leadership. These white people have a code of conduct. There is no leader. Like, I want people to really understand. There is no leader of this. Yeah, you may have the so-called head of the Proud Boys, or the head of the right wing, or all the alt-right, or whatever the case is. But there is no quote-unquote leader. It's just simply a code of conduct. Do you really sit in and think that these people are gonna rat each other out? No, because it's a code of conduct they have. Even the government, they're on code with this. Why? Because they let it happen. The government is on code. Why? Because the white government is controlled by a bunch of old, white, stern, white supremacists. Don't ever think that the Democrats are not white supremacists either. Don't ever think that these folks are white supremacists. Do you really sit here and think, come on, man, let's keep it a buck here. The left and the right is full of white supremacists. These people who just ran into the wild foot soldiers. That's all it is. And they're literally just to blind you from who the true white supremacists are. Or who are the more powerful, I should say, because they're all true white supremacists, but who the real ones are. And I kind of want to do this video right quick. I ain't want to make it too long, but I want to do this video because I think that we as black people again need to put the little petty differences to the side, man. It's getting tiresome. I understand people are invested into some of these figureheads, but I think that we as a people need to put the differences to the side. I am someone who likes to study history. That's what I do. I like to study history, go into history, learn things about history. That's what I like to do. Politics, I may touch on this channel, but I only touch on it on the surface level. I may talk about the history of politics, but as far as like policies and etc., that's not my lane. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I talk, but history is my lane. I think the black people need to learn where their lane is, per se. Learn what you can do good. I think, that's why I said we as black people have all we need, in my opinion. You have black folk that are historians. You have black people that are economists. You have black people that are farmers and who know agriculture. You have black people that know computer and technologies and Java programming and etc. Everyone is needed. Learn your lane, stay in your lane. And don't sit here and combat with somebody else about the lane that they're in. It's okay to have different subsects of black liberation. It's okay. And also, because I didn't speak on this yet, I want to also speak on the Georgia runoff. This is gonna be real quick. This is a quick little interjection that I didn't speak about. Let's talk about the Georgia runoff for a second. Now, the Georgia runoff happened, and this is a message to all of the let's say black people that quote unquote voted in here in Georgia, or who were hoping that the Democrats actually won the Georgia runoff. Let's keep this shit a buck for a second, and you make sure that you send this to you send this to anyone that voted per se in the Georgia runoff. Now that the Democrats so-called have control of the House and the Senate, there is no reason now, no reason at all why reparations can't happen, specific tangibles for black people can't happen. There's no at all excuses anymore that can be made. None. I don't want to hear it. Because all this time I've been hearing, well, we don't have control of the House or the Senate. It's the Republicans that are not allowing us to do stuff. I don't want to hear that shit no more. They have control of the House and the Senate, which means they now can pass tangible bills. Not HR 40, not that little nothing bill that they have to study reparations. And what is this whole thing about studying reparations? I don't even understand the concept of that, to study reparations. When the Jews or the European Jew got his reparations for the Holocaust, they didn't study reparations. The world came together and said, you could, German or whoever it was, you're gonna give these people reparations, period. When the natives got reparations, there wasn't a study, they got it. When the Japanese got reparations, was there a study? No, they just got it. So why when it come to us, we gotta have this study? No, they know who's who, they know where these people are, and they know who the descendants of slaves are, period. So don't let anybody run that con game when you're sitting here saying that, well, guys, we need to study reparations because we need to look into, how black people were further boss. No, I don't care if white people, because this thing you gotta understand. White people, they're saying that white people need to know or learn the history of slavery. I can give a fuck if a white person knows the history of slavery. That's a mean thing to me. Like I said, the racial wealth gap, we are a worthless people in this country. Do I think that group economics could get us where we need to go? Yes. But do I think that reparations is needed? Yes. Because if each person gets reparations, that can help close the wealth gap. And, there's this argument that people like to say, well, black people gonna fuck that money off. They gonna spend it on Jordans. They gonna spend it on a BMW. Yeah, some of these fools may do that. But some of us have enough common sense to understand what needs to take place once we get this reparations. So don't let anybody ever con you, or don't let the government con you to sit here and say that we need the HR 40 bill. No. And also another thing, more importantly, the only reason why reparations is even on the table, the reason why they are talking about giving black people tangibles, or they're using certain vernacular like grassroots or etc., is because African Americans that have not voted, or did not vote in general really, put the fire under their ass and said, we need something if you want to get our vote. That's the only reason why this topic of discussion is even being had, or has been being had, period. But I want to interject this into the video before I got up out of here, because I think that this was much needed. But again, if you want to get some free stock, if you want to get some free crypto, hit the links in the bio. If you want to get some silver, I'll make sure to put my link to where I get my silver at. Just as a, let people know silver prices have went up due to the stimulus. Like I told y'all before, when they start printing that more money they print out, the more the US debt grows, the higher the price of silver goes. But nonetheless, like I said, if y'all want to get some free stock from Robinhood, possibly an Apple share, hit the link in the bio. If you want to get some free crypto, If y'all want to get some Chainlink is a good stock to get into. Cosmos is another one. Make sure y'all hit the link also for my Coinbase account. And peace to everybody. Stay black, stay up, stay straight.